Monica, I think we can wait for 2 more minutes and we'll start.
Sure, sir. Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to day two of our Gen AI engineering workshop. I am Monica Conregula from the Learning and Development team, and I hope you all had an amazing first day with us yesterday. Today, we have something truly special for you. Today, Mr. Naren Alam will lead a completely hands on session covering two key areas: prompt engineering for code generation to write effective prompt for clean, efficient code, building RAG applications with local LLMS, complete walkthrough of creating retrieval augmented generation applications. This is all about practical, real world AI engineering skills that will prepare you for your future career. Let's dive right in with Mr. Naren Alam.
So, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? So, please let's make it very as interactive as possible. So, I'm expecting answers from you for my questions. So, good morning. So, can you hear me? Okay, cool. Okay, so let me start with so today's plan. Then, let's switch off my video. Okay, so I think you guys can you can hear me. So the plan is today we are going to start with the tools which we use to do AI engineering, which includes regular ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. Okay, so these are three main chart LLMs we use for our regular querying. And when it comes to code, we use VS Code, Claude Code, which is basically a CLI, Gemini Code, again it's a CLI, and the most important one is Cursor. Okay, so this is what we are actually practicing today, and the similar rules apply for all other IDEs. And we have Windsurf, and we have the latest one, Kiro. Apart from that, there are free tools like Klein. So these are IDs. Okay, so where you can actually do the vibe coding. We will start with the definitions again. What exactly an LLM and what is a reasoning? What is an LLM? First of all, it's a large language model and types of LLMs. And how do you do this practice uh, from the internet and without internet? I mean, that means locally how you can install LLMs and how you can practice. What is the breadth of these LLMs? Okay, various companies are actually producing these models. Which model is best for what? Okay, we are mostly focusing on text generation models. So these are the tools: ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. So usually we use all the three for regular charting, and VS Code on the other side, the coding part: VS Code, Claude Code, Gemini Code, Cursor, and Windsurf, Kiro, and Client. These are the things. These are the IDEs we use. Okay, so I hope everyone is at least familiar with one of these tools, right? I think everybody. How many of you are familiar with VS Code? Just say yes in the chat. So I want to see the number. So out of 56, at least everybody is familiar with VS Code, right? Yeah, please say yes or no. Okay. I mean, it's not a rocket science. It's very easy. And after the tools, we discuss the prompt engineering. Okay. So few examples from prompt engineering and how I do personally these prompts to get the better results. And the third one, I show you vibe coding. How do you build a small application, something like Lazy Pay? You know, guys are aware of Lazy Pay, simple. I'll explain anyway. Okay. And after that, we are going to discuss RAG applications. Okay. So before this, we are starting with tools. Apart from these regular chart applications, we also use local LLMs. Okay, very few people usually aware of this. Excuse me. So if you really want to become an AI engineer, so you have to understand how an LLM works. Usually these ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, they won't give you that much fine-grained access. You just have to prompt, right? You cannot actually change the parameters and all that. Okay, so I just want to show that today. So let's start with a simple ChatGPT prompt. I hope you can see my screen, right? So there are multiple ways you can actually access ChatGPT. The first one is ChatGPT.com, right? This is where most of you guys are actually using free versions, right? So, and excuse me. So this is a professional version, what I'm using here, but I don't think there is much difference. ChatGPT 5 is the latest version, right? So usually, most of you guys search for solutions. For example, explain binary search. Okay, it's a vague query, a simple vague query. You did not mention which language you have to give the code, right? But by default, it has chosen Python. The reason is most of these LLMs uh, they have got trained with a lots of code of Python. Okay, they're very good at most of the LLMs. They are very good at Python, then followed by JavaScript, then the other languages. So that's the reason it's very much comfortable with Python. That's the reason you are seeing this. Okay. So instead of asking like this, what is your intention? Why do you really want to understand this? If it is simple copy paste thing, I mean, this is fine. But usually in prompting, we have multiple techniques, prompting techniques. And why should we? So somebody asked me these questions. Sir, why should I learn prompt engineering? LLM is already intelligent, right? It has intelligence, it has huge brain. Why should I give these directions? Okay. So I'm just going to give you a sample prompt. You are a Python developer. You are an experienced Python developer. Implement knapsack algorithm. Okay. Which language? Obviously Python language. He's a the persona. So this is called persona based prompting. This is the first thing I want to give you. And this is also called the first technique. This is also called as zero shot prompting. You are not giving any examples or any references. You are simply giving instructions. All the LLMs, large language models that you are seeing, GPT, Gemini, Cloud, all these are instruction trained LLMs. I mean, they follow the instructions. So without giving any references, any help, if you're simply instructing, so this is basically called as zero shot prompting. Even the first one is also zero shot prompting only, explain binary search. If it has understanding of what is binary search, it will simply produce. Okay. Usually these LLMs, the is around size around like 2 TB, 1 terabyte to 2 terabyte. They won't fit into your RAM. So that is the reason they're selling these models as service. That's what you're consuming here. So implement NACSAC algorithm. So definitely it will implement in Python and implement unit test cases. Okay. Uh, Positive, negative, edge cases. What I do is implement knapsack algorithm as a REST service. So I just want to add web development for this. Generate API test cases. This is the instruction what I'm giving. And I also mention how the output should get generated. So this is also very important. So when you are giving instructions, see this is a prompt structure usually. First of all, you give the persona. Okay, this is called persona. How it has to think. I'll tell you why you have to give this. And followed by the idea, the set of instructions. You can put any heading here. Okay, so you can give multiple headings or single heading. As of now, probably I can give implementation. Okay, we usually use simple words and colon for headings and hyphen for the instructions, not more than that. Because it understands very well. Particularly, ChatGPT understands this particular format. This is called uh, plain markdown. This format is called as plain markdown. I think you guys are aware of XML, right? XML looks like HTML. In fact, ChatGPT understands XML much better. Okay, we can give. I mean, they are mostly same. Why simply is a paragraph? Why giving a simple paragraph? If you give a structured format like Markdown, YAML, I'll show you all the formats. So Markdown, YAML, XML. Yeah, these are the three. JSON. Fourth one is JSON. These are the four formats in which you can clearly write and give the instructions. So in here, the instructions are like implement NACSAP algorithm as a REST service. So if you're writing code, if you understand web development particularly, in web development, whether it is Python, Java, .NET, okay, Golang, any of these popular languages, you must first of all understand what you are really building. So we'll come to that point once we are done with this. You are an experienced Python developer. These are the instructions I asked you to implement. Okay, and also follow Python PEP 8 standards. Hmm. Yeah, you can give it in detail. I'll show you that later. For now, let's finish this. So output, what I'm expecting output is generate or create one file, and file name is like knapsack service. dot py, create one file for knapsack API. So I'm actually separating the business logic from the API code. Okay. And create separate test files for unit testing and API testing. See, I'm giving very clear instructions to this. This is how you should actually write prompts. This is called zero shot prompting. You don't give any references, you simply give the prompt. Just run this. I'm not using thinking model, I'm just using the standard auto, which is basically simply generate. It just does the basic thinking. I show you what exactly is thinking is. So don't use these GPTs and LLMs like Google. Okay. So that is the problem. A lot of people, they simply use ChatGPT for searching also. Okay. ChatGPT is more informative. If you really want to go for searching, go to Google and there is search bar here. You can search here, or else this is a hybrid mode, and then a lot of people are actually migrating to this mode, Gemini AI mode or Google AI mode. So here you can search for what are the latest mobiles in the market and comparing mobile prices and all that you can do here. And there is one more tool called Perplexity. Okay, so usually I use this compare Apple iPhone versus Google Pixel. It gives you exact sources and whatever is the sources that are available in the web, it will give you those references instead of simply generating knowledge from its trained knowledge. So it has given fantastic comparisons and also given some sources. Okay, and here the sources, list of sources it has used, going to proper authentic websites. Okay, you can use this or this one. Okay, let's go back to our GPT. So did it follow exactly what I said? Let's see. Okay, so it is basically doing everything step by step. All set. Build a clean, fast API service plus unit and API test. Fully typed unit PEP complaint. Okay, and files created. This. It has created. You can download these files actually. Knapsack service, Knapsack API, test Knapsack service. But the problem is each time you have to download this file and copy paste the code. Okay, so that is where we use vibe coding tools where things will be done automatically in the IDE itself. So it has created all the entire project, including the README file. README file is the entire documentation. Okay, and how to run this. It has used Python, pip, everything, and also it made this into entire a web simple web service. And how do you test this? This is how you test it, and this is how you will get the response. You can also run the tests. So this is a clear explanation that you should give when you are asking for any code implementations instead of simply implement binary search in C++ or Python or Java, whatever it is. Okay, this is the first kind of prompting. So this is called few shot, sorry, zero shot prompting. Okay, this is the first technique. Let's go to the second one. Search. me open. Where is this document? Downloads. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to search for a document. So we are going to share all the documents, okay, by the end of today's session. So anyway, so this is just want to show you. So this is the knapsack service which has been created by your ChatGPT. Okay. So this is a service file. It has created a class validating inputs, knapsack 01 problem, and proper documentation. As I have given PEP 8 standards, it has followed all the coding standards and also documentation standards, all the formatting and linting standards. See how clean is this code is. So if you don't give like this, usually it will simply generate Python code. Okay. So I'll show you how to run the code and all that. For now, let's focus on the types of the prompts first of all. Um, is that prompt? Mhm. Okay. Anyway, so I think I have repeated work again. I think we'll go with the prompts along with some assignment, or let's take a use case and implement these prompts. And before going to that, I'm going to explain what are the various types of other prompts as well. The second one, this is a simple uh, zero shot prompting. That means you are not giving any examples. Okay, so the next one is either one shot or few shot. In one shot and or few shot prompting, what you do is you give something like this. You are a SQL developer. Okay, I'm just giving a persona again. You understand why I'm giving this. So the question is why you are giving it as Python developer. Anyway, you are asking the question in Python. So why can't it understands? And why are you giving this particular prompt? Okay. So why you should give in detail? Why can't I simply give some vague something like in Iron Man, he just simply orders Jarvis, right? He directs Jarvis, it will do everything. Why can't I simply do like that? The thing is, as of now, all these LLMs got trained with complex patterns. So when you say simply develop some Python knapsack algorithm in Python REST API, it has hundreds of thoughts in its mind. It has 100 options in its mind. So n number of options it has in mind. It basically has to identify which is the best way to go with this question and answer. So it will take some time for that, and there are chances that it might go in an irrelevant direction. Probably it might not follow PEP 8 standards, might not follow testing standards. Okay, that is the reason we have to give an instruction. And the first instruction you are giving a persona, right? When you are saying you are an experienced Python developer in this case, it will start thinking like a Python developer. In fact, it will go to a section of its knowledge where most of the Python developer related content is available. Instead of thinking very generally, it will basically go and first of all it identifies what is the path, source paths where I can actually get more information related to a Python developer. So in fact, you are actually reducing almost 90% of its effort in the first statement itself. And one more thing, LLMs interpret these prompts like a simple compiler or interpreter. The way how compiler and interpreter works, LLM also works in the same way. The first instruction, usually what you do in coding is hash include, right? Hash include or import statements in Python. The same way, based on the first one or two lines, it will decide what to do the next. So the first few lines are very, very important. Usually these are called as system prompts. So this is basically come under the system prompt section. This is the user prompt section. Okay, first few lines. It will consider that as the primary instructions. Then it will basically come into that persona, something like you know Aparchit, right? How it becomes the other character. It becomes a Python developer, and it will start going through all the ways where it can get the better Python related information, and it will start searching for the remaining. Okay, and you're instructing at the same time, you're also giving what you are expecting. So this is what you should do. Okay, I think this is half filled. You are instructing like this, and also your expectation is also mentioned here clearly. Even you do all these, this is the format I'm expecting. Okay, so it has done fantastic job actually. You can see the Kiro code, how it has done, right? It is very clean. Anyway, so the second one is one shot or few shot. Okay, what is exactly shot means? Giving an example. So you are SQL developer, you have given a persona to this. The next one, what I'm expecting is, here is an example. All employees whose salary is, let's say, count of all employees where their salary is greater than 30,000. So answer. So this is a question basically. I will give a couple of questions and answers as an examples. So this is the question. It understands whether it is Q or okay. Select count star, right? From employee where, let's take E dot salary is greater than 30,000. This is an example I have given. In fact, it is very, very good at SQL. You don't need to give any examples like this, but this is a small, this is the format I want to discuss with you. So that is count star. Okay. So what else you can give? Employees with salary less than 20,000, let's say. Select star or simply name, E dot name, employee where salary is less than 20,000. So this is a second example I have given. Now the question what I ask is, employee who gets salary greater than 50,000. So see, this is a very simple, vague example, in fact. So when you give few examples, it understands this guy is basically playing with SQL. So this guy is playing with SQL. I have to focus mostly on the SQL. So it won't actually go out of this. So this guy is actually expecting question and answer, and he has given two examples, and he's expecting me to answer the third question. Okay, so this is, you can say there are, as I have given two examples, you can say this is called as few shot prompting. See, for your last query, got it. For your last query, this is the query in SQL. So it has to understand the theme. See, here I'm focusing mostly on the salary part, right? So it will basically focus on the knowledge of SQL, particularly on a specific attribute called salary. So that much focused it is. See, instead of simply giving right a query like this, it will mostly answer the question. For example, if you give employee whose salary greater than 50,000 in some other prompt, create some other prompt and do that, or else let's type somewhere else. You can use any other or same ChatGPT. Let's use desktop version. See, you're getting that. Okay, so you don't need to give those examples, but when there are places where it won't understand, particularly the reason for this few shot and one shot is when you are playing with the context. So this is one thing that we have to discuss, context management. That is our second topic today. I already have charted with this, right? So if you look at my older charts, I have plenty of charts here. Okay. So from 2023, I think 23 or 22, I have chart GPT with me. I have plenty of charts. Okay. All these previous charts are also stored. Okay. And also will be sent to the LLM. So when it has so much knowledge, when you are giving so much information, it basically builds knowledge out of all the previous messages. So probably the previous messages, SQL queries might be related to something. They might be like a DCL commands. DCL means, right? Data control language. Probably revoke, grant, and all that. So when the current knowledge is mostly focused on something else, it will go in that direction. That is the reason we are giving few short examples. Okay. So the reason why we have given examples is probably it might be having some other knowledge which is related to SQL in my previous chart. Okay. In such cases, you give one shot or few shot. Just to see what we are doing so far is just steering the direction of LLM's thinking. LLM can think in n number of ways. That is the first point. It can think in n directions. So you are actually steering its focus to your problem. Okay. The reason for few shot or one shot is we are steering its focus to our problem because it might be having some knowledge related to SQL in the previous history. Okay, that is the reason you're giving. Or else, if it is plain query, something like this, it can understand and just return. Okay, don't think always this is possible. It means it will give you the output like that. So someone is asking a question. Let me look at the questions. Can do it without ChatGPT Premium. Yes, ChatGPT. I mean, you don't need to have ChatGPT Premium to do all these prompts. So LLM is an LLM. It can understand the prompting techniques. Okay, so that is the second one. The first one we have discussed is zero shot, where you have to give clear instructions. But whether it is zero shot or few shot, first thing you have to set its persona, how it has to think. Okay, that is zero shot. This is one shot. If you give one example, it is one shot. If you give more than one example, that is few shot. Okay, and what is the purpose of few shot is to steer its focus to your problem. Okay, so good morning. How can we implement a project using ChatGPT and use the ChatGPT for preparation of placement exams? How should I give prompt and what technique is useful for? Okay, I'm coming to that. So we still have time, right? We are just 45 minutes. We still have one more hour, so we have plenty of time to discuss that. Okay, this is the second one. And the next set of questions or set of prompts are very, very important. The first one is chain of thought, next tree of thought, and graph of thought. And fourth one is self-reflection. Okay, so let's write and discuss. And same thing, I'll show you how to do that when you're using vibe coding. Okay, so the specific topics what we're discussing is the first one is the zero shot. I'm writing with persona in the bracket. Persona means you have to decide how it has to be. It has to behave. Zero shot, few shot, not short, it is short. Okay. Sorry. Chain of thought. The next one is tree of thought. Self-reflection. These are very, very important. I mean, these six prompts are more than enough for you guys. Apart from that, most of the other prompting techniques you guys already might have experienced, but you might not know the names of them. Okay, I'll show you, probably identify yourself in there. Okay, so these are the six techniques that we are going to discuss now. Just give me one moment. Let me get that file for you. I will share in the chat. Templates. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Thanks for waiting. I'm going to share a document with you. Just keep this in mind. I'm going to share the same on the screen. Yeah, this one. So how to share this? I think I can share this in the chart, right? Um, yes. So I'm sharing this document with you. Okay, so this is purely prompt engineering related stuff that we have prepared. Let's see how much we have time. 1 more hour, 1 hour, probably 5 minutes. Okay, so the next one is chain of thought prompting. Okay, what exactly is this is when you are giving a prompt to an LLM, it interprets the prompt like a simple compiler or interpreter. Okay, and without thinking anything. So what you can ask is think in chain of thought or think step by step. So when you write think step by step, if it is a thinking model, usually it will think step by step. I mean, it will break the entire problem into multiple steps. It will start thinking. The problem here is, okay, so I'll just want to write something on the board. When you give a problem, okay, let me, anyway, let's not waste the time. Let's take a problem and probably we understand what is chain of thought. This is a PDF I just shared. Um, yeah, here it is. The way how human thinks about a problem. So it will take a problem, it will break it down into multiple sub problems, and it will do that sequentially one by one. The reason for doing this is uh, Probably the first part of the problem, so it's the second part of the problem that you have divided, that might be having impact. I mean, that might be having impact on third. The first might be having impact on the second process. So first of all, you have to carefully choose the first step. Based on that, then only the success rate, will be higher for the second step. In such cases, you go with a chain of thought. Okay. A simple example, something like a recursive approach in your programming. The how it actually solves the problem. In the first step, it will solve part of the problem. Similarly, the same strategy is applied for the remaining parts, and that is how it recursively go. So if you look at this example, uh, this is the problem. Okay, so there is a microservices design problem. So you have to build an API gateway for user service, order service, and notification service. I think user service is very, very important because of the dependencies of order service and notification service. In fact, order service in any e-commerce website, order service is the central part. Okay, anything that are coming, they will come only after order service only, or everything comes just before order service only. So first of all, you have to identify how the user gets registered to any e-commerce website. How once he make a purchase in Amazon or Swiggy or wherever it is, how the notification comes. First of all, you have to think about these two. Then only you have to think about the order service. Okay, so there is a step-by-step process here. If you plan all the three at the same time, there is a problem of confusion. There is a problem of architectural tangling. So later you cannot untangle it. Okay, so that is the reason you can ask uh, the LLM to think in step by step. Okay, so this is, and again in chain of thought, there is a zero shot COT. Zero shot means without giving any references, you simply ask. And this is an example. So this is basically a chain of thought, a few shot chain of thought example. Okay. So what we ask is think step by step. Let me give you an example for that. Give me, first of all, you have to write the persona. You are a solution architect, software architect, in fact, experienced software architect. So what you should do is design. So just give me a design. What design? Uh, Implement e-commerce website, database, backend, and UI. Do all the three. Okay. And outcome. Generate a design document. That's what I'm expecting. It's very simple prompt, right? But if you give just like that, it is just a vague prompt. Okay. Let's see, by giving like this, this is simply a zero shot prompt. See, this is thinking, right? So you don't need to tell anything. It is thinking. Non-functional goals, high-level architecture, database backend, and web UI. You did not actually mention technologies also. Cloud native, secure by default, scalable, testable, and observable. Okay. Why it's not ending? It's still doing. Okay, just stop it. So it is basically generating a document. We'll see that how it has generated. And if you give this, think step by step. One more statement just before. Think step by step. Usually these Chat GPT, Gemini, all these, they go with, by default, they are going with chain of thought these days. But if they are not doing, you have to ask step by step. Think step by step. Okay. So this is very powerful statement what you have given. Usually this happens, you have to give this step by step thinking process when you are actually coding directly. It is something different than the earlier one, right? Earlier it has just simply given some text initially, then design, right? Now, if you look at this, there is a high level architecture here, then database design in detail. So this is how it has thought actually. Initially, it has designed the high level, it has given the high level design. Okay, so you can actually view all this. If you have the Mermaid plugin, I'll show you what the next steps. So one, it has designed the database design and then backend design, API endpoints also clearly mentioned, front-end non-functional CI/CD. This is what the idea is. Okay. Next, it is basically asking us, would you like me to also generate this as a polished PDF? Okay, with cover, DOC and all that. So this is very high level. Okay, but the thought process, when I've given the step-by-step thinking, it has changed the complete view of its design process, right? So I show you exactly where exactly this chain of thought is really helpful. By default, these Chat GPT, Gemini, you Claude, all these, your chart LLMs, they have some extra intelligence what they use before actually answering your questions. We'll also discuss that now. So that is the chain of thought. Okay. So next we have tree of thought and we also have graph of thought. I'll explain both of them in the same example. So you understand this, particularly see you need to understand how your thought process is when you are implementing something. You cannot simply vaguely ask, we just do this in 2 3 lines. You have to plan. Okay, so to do that planning, you guys have to learn application development. So you should know how to write REST API, how to design a database, how to design UI, and how to integrate all the three. So unless you do application development in the first or second year, at least in the fourth year, okay, you are not ready for the AI engineering because it is not like prompting some message in the chat GPT. You must have architectural thinking to get succeeded in the AI engineering. Okay. So next example, they just want to run from here. Probably we'll go to vibe coding directly after this. Okay. So let's start with the how these LLMs and chat GPTs, Geminis, how they're working, what is the magic they are doing, what you have to understand. Okay. Before going to that, is this possible without internet? Can we run these LLMs locally? Okay, this is basically a very interesting subject. Someone who really want to understand AI engineering end to end, they have to understand how this LLM works. Okay. So if you're having more than 8 GB of RAM in your laptops, my suggestion is you can actually download LM Studio. Okay. You can go to the website. I'll show you Language Model Studio, LM Studio, lmstudio.ai. Why it's taking time? Hmm. So this is the website. You can go and download based on your operating system. Okay. So as of now, there are few LLM providers like Gemini. Gemini is from Google, right? Let me open a notepad for you. So as of now, you guys are aware of OpenAI. Why is my text is coming very small? So OpenAI is a company, right? They are actually releasing these models, ChatGPT 5, 4, 4.0 and all that. And the latest one is 5, right? The next one is Google. So Google's Gemini. Google has a Gemini model, which is what you are seeing on the web. And Google also has another model called Gemma. Some people call it Gemma, some people call it Gemma, which is basically an open source model, which is basically you can download to your system and you can actually do the experiments. Probably your laptops won't fit the larger versions. Gemma has a smaller version like 3 GB, 4 GB version. You can try with that. And ChatGPT also has GPT OSS, okay, which is a 20 billion or 120 billion versions are there. 20 billion version is mostly it will fit in if you have 16 GB RAM. Okay, so these are open source models. And apart from Google and OpenAI, we have other companies which are doing these models like Alibaba and the other company, Mistral. Most important one is Anthropic. Anthropic has all commercial models. Claude, Claude Sonnet, which is very, very popular model. We are going with that right now. Alibaba has the set of models called Quen. Mistral has Devstral, Mistral, Megistral. So these are the few companies which are basically providing this. And we have a ByteDance, a company called ByteDance. They're also providing models. And what all these models are into? Every model has its own expertise. For example, OpenAI, Google, and these two models, particularly ChatGPT and Gemini models, are where they are general models. Literally, they can do most of the tasks. They are not into one expertise. They are into generalized knowledge on everything. Okay, but Anthropic Claude Sonnet is mainly trying to do the coding part. Okay, this is the reason any coding assistant here, VS Code, Cursor, Windsurf, Kiro, most of them they are actually going with Claude Sonnet only for code generation. Okay, so these are the few types of few models from the major companies. So where do you find these models? There are multiple places where you can find from this. One is Hugging Face. Hugging Face is something like your GitHub. Okay. GitHub is for code, Hugging Face is for the machine learning and LLM models. Most of the machine learning models are hosted here. Okay. So how to download and all that you can go through documentations. Easiest way is there is one more website called Olama, particularly for LLMs. You can click on these models and you can find DeepSeek is from a Chinese company. You guys are aware of that, right? So GPT-OS is the latest open source model from OpenAI. OpenAI is first open source model. And what do you do with this? How do you access and how do you make use of them? So if you really want to experiment with these LLMs, how they work, because that will give you the better understanding of how the AI applications work. The way how you do Chat GPT and Gemini, that is completely different. That is only for the consumers, not for developers. Consumer means normal users like your parents, your dad, your uncles. They for their usage. For everybody should be able to use. You should be able to get the benefit out of ChatGPT and Gemini. That's the reason they have designed it. It does a lot of magic. But when it comes to developers, it is completely in raw mode, so that we can build applications on top of it. Okay, so let me show you. So this is Olama website. Okay, we also uh, have Olama application. I have installed locally. Installation is simply download. Okay, once you download, and you can actually pull any of these models. Okay, so instead of this all going for Alama, the easiest way is LM Studio. You guys go to LM Studio as I said yesterday. Okay, download that. Once you download, this is what you see. This is LM Studio, and these are the models I have downloaded. Okay, in which the simplest version is Qwen 3 4B. And where do you find these models? Once you open this, there is search bar here, right? Discover the models. Here you find all the latest models. And these models, if you look at here, there are two logos, icons here, right? One is, it is like a hammer symbol, which is basically tool, and this is reasoning. The brain symbol is reasoning. These models are capable of, why these are, why it is, okay. Is my voice is clear, guys? Why these models are not showing here? Is it because of internet problem? Yeah, it's working. Let me open this one more time. So this is LM Studio, where you can find the latest models. You should be able to see all the available models in the internet here. But it's not showing anything. Okay. So you'll find the models anyway here. Okay, you have to choose and you have to download. And apart from that, once you download them, the models, you can see the symbols here, reasoning models and tool calling models. I'll show you, I'll tell you what the difference is, tool calling and reasoning models. Earlier, models are like purely, they used to do the completions. That means uh, something like this. What is the capital of India? Okay. So you want to ask this question. The advantage of LM Studio is Language Model Studio. LM Studio is you can select any of the models. You can start doing the experiments. Okay. I want to start with very small model called Qwen 3. 4B means 4 billion. 20B means 20 billion. And there are some parameters here. Okay. You don't need to worry anything about it right now. Later, you can actually do a lot of experiments with this. Okay. Slowly you understand AI engineering and can use these parameters. Those are parameters. These are hyperparameters on the right side. I have chosen a model called Qwen. Qwen is basically from Alibaba company. So it is just 4 GB model, which will fit into your laptop. What is the capital of India? It is thinking, right? That means it is a thinking model. After thinking 5 seconds, it has given an example. New Delhi is the city and capital. What if it doesn't have the information with this? For example, I asked, who is Naren Alam? It definitely doesn't know, right? In that 4 GB, I don't think it has who is Narendra Allam. There is an intersection question. After carefully checking sources, academic records, and government publications, no widely recognized, prominent, or historically significant person in India are globally known by name Naren Allah. Okay. I know there is a person, possible misspelling or confusion. Narendra Modi is there. Naren could be nickname for Narendra. Alam might be confused with Alam. Okay. Local or niche, double check spelling and all. Okay. So this is, it is saying that I don't know. Okay. So definitely all the information that is in the internet that won't cover everyone, right? So probably what I can do is I can give knowledge about me. This is what this technique is called RAG. RAG means retrieval augmented generation. Okay. So this is the not only problem with the small 4 GB version, even your chart GPT, that 1 TB version also, it might not know all the information that we require. For example, there are financial institutions like banks, Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. These banks, they won't share their data with public, right? So when they ask what was the last year stock prices of uh, our confidential stocks like A, B, C. So what is the growth rate? These questions cannot be found in Google, right? So you have to give a knowledge. So there is a beautiful application that you can attach to this LM Studio. Just select this rag, right? And just upload a document, particularly PDF. I'm giving my profile, my resume, you can say, right? So just say send it. It is processing. Okay. It is still thinking about the last question. It said, I don't know, right? So I just have given this. It is somehow now reasoning mostly on me because I have given information. So I'll explain how this process is going to happen. And this is called RAG. Okay, I give you very, very basic understanding of RAG and then we'll go to vibe coding. So Narendra Alam, correct spelling from your document. So principal engineer. Okay, nonsense. I don't ask all these questions. I want to know uh, when was he post graduated? It is doing a lot of reasoning. Okay, a lot of reasoning means chain of thought. So from so and so document, I got this. He has done his MCA from Kakinada JNTU, 2007. Okay. So I just asked about very specific details. So not only, so here, particularly this particular RAG plugin, which is part of this LM, you can actually use this for any of your personal readings or personal research. Okay, this is really useful. You don't need to have an internet connection for this. Getting my point? So a simple 4 GB model. Okay. Now, just give me 5 minutes. Let's take a break for 5 minutes. I'll continue. Okay. Right. This is how you can actually start using a local LLM for your needs. Okay. For each and every small problem, you don't need to go for a paid version, right? If you need some kind of logic, probably refactoring this code or convert this code to C++ into Python, Python to JavaScript or Java. So these small models are more than enough. But still, you have plenty of open free models, right, outside. So I think the ChatGPT free version, Gemini free version, these are mostly enough for your guys. But when it comes to development, definitely we use commercial versions because of the speed and accuracy. Okay. But if you really want to get into AI engineering, definitely these local LLMs, tuning them. Okay. So implementing RAG applications and also configuring them. If you look at this on the right side, you have temperature, right? Temperatures, top K sampling, top P sampling. Okay, and we also have other parameters for a few of the LLMs, something like frequency penalty, presence penalty. So we use these parameters. You are, as of now, you are simply asking LLM a query and it is giving the output, right? But how to make use of these LLMs in the code? Okay, that is the last topic for today. And before that, what is vibe coding and how do we implement applications with the help of LLMs? See, each time asking a question in the chat GPT, copy pasting that into your source code, that is a tedious process, right? So definitely you have to understand all these techniques. I shared this document, prompt engineering document with you. Apart from that, if you want to implement projects, if you want to really make use of AI in your projects, the way is going with vibe coding tools and something like AI IDs or coding agents. We call them as coding agents. So I tell you the reality, what where you are exactly. Hmm. Right. So this is the user input. This is the user is giving input, and this is the output. And this is the LLM. You are actually asking a question, right, to LLM. It is doing some magic and just generating, right? What is this actually? You are thinking you are directly asking LLM, right? No, there are so many things in between. There are so many things in between you and LLM and you. Okay, even the chat GPT you are using, the web version or local version, the LLM is sitting somewhere in the cloud, their own cloud, right? So when you are asking a question, yeah. So when you are asking a question, the question is directly going to LLM and it is giving the generating the output. No, it is not doing, it's not happening like that. When you ask a question, something is happening in between. And who is basically connecting to this LLM? In this case, in the case of LM Studio, The LM Studio application is in between you and the chosen LLM. LLM is simply it's a model, right? Model is like it has knowledge. It has a knowledge file, and it knows how to respond to your queries. That's it. But there is something that is happening. And again, once the LLM generates the output, after generating, there are few more things that are happening. I just showed you there is top P, top K, temperature, and all that, right? So that is what it is. This particular part, if you look at, this is that part. Okay, so this is basically this process is called as sampling. Okay, this is post generation process, and this is called as context management. Okay, so this is very advanced topic. If you really want to build an AI application, this is where you have to focus on. Okay, so that's it about the very high level architecture of what's happening with the LLM. Let's go to coding tools. All these coding tools are called as coding agents, right? In these coding agents, we have Cursor, Copilot, GitHub Copilot, and we have Kiro, we have Windsurf, and we are going with Cursor today. Okay. So prompt engineering related, we have just discussed just three techniques. Two more techniques are there. Tree of thought, graph of thought, and self-reflection. Three more techniques are there. Right? We are going to discuss that now, along with vibe coding. First of all, what is vibe coding? Vibe coding is using a set of techniques to generate code. Usually, you guys develop the code, right? So, one important thing here is there are two things that you're going to face in the near future. Already, we are experiencing that. The first one is improving your productivity. Productivity means if you are able to code today 100 lines per day, probably you should be able to do 1,000 lines of code. That to quality code. This can be done with the help of AI. So improving productivity by using AI. The second one, implementing AI, implementing applications, AI applications. Using AI for your productivity, that is one part. The second part is implementing AI applications. That is far advanced. Okay. At least as students, you guys should understand the basics of what is LLM, what is an agent, the definition of what is an agent. In this case, all these vibe coding tools are coding agents. Okay. You just tell them they will do some work for you. That is what agent is basically. Agent works behalf of you. Okay. So we are in the first stage. This is what today's demonstration. Okay. We have 30 more minutes. We have ample time. Next 15 minutes, we are going to discuss how to make use of. So someone asked this question. Uh, Using ChatGPT and use ChatGPT for preparation of placement. How can we use implement a project using ChatGPT? Yeah, that's what we are going to discuss immediately. So using ChatGPT, see, ChatGPT is not only one LLM that is in the market. We have Gemini, we have Claude. Claude is from Anthropic. Anthropic is basically powered by Amazon. Okay. Claude models are really, really good. So this is how the Claude looks like. Okay. So this is Claude. So this is Perplexity. This is ChatGPT. And we have Gemini. I think you guys might have seen Gemini. Gemini is simple. I mean, you can go to any web. And these are desktop versions basically. And I have IDEs you can see here. One is VS Code, and I think this video is not getting recorded, right? Is it getting recorded? Okay, anyway, we'll conduct this session again. Don't worry. So we'll have a detailed session probably by this month ending or the next month, first week. So if you are missing, so actually I thought of recording this. Actually, it's not. So I already shared the prompt engineering doc, right? Just keep that with you. Listen carefully. Anyway, we are not recording. I don't think this is going to be useful for you if you haven't recorded. Okay. You guys can see my iPad, right? At least. Hmm. So, improving the productivity and implementing AI applications. Okay. So today, I have few trained students recently. They have appeared for an AI interview for an AI company. Okay. They are using AI tools to build AI applications. Okay, that much. That is the trend today. So people are building applications very fast. At the same time, they are building AI applications. Okay, so building AI applications probably will cover that in the next sessions. Probably if I have the last 5 minutes, I'll discuss about it. But how to make use of this AI tool to improve your productivity, how to finish the projects in college level, how you can actually build innovative and creative applications. That's what I'm going to show you right now. Okay. So what exactly this vibe coding is? The first part. For vibe coding, definitely there are two things which are required for you. Not everybody simply become a vibe coder and finish all the projects just like Hanuman. Okay. So few things that are required. The first one is you must understand at least one language. Programming knowledge is definitely mandatory, but you have to finish this in the first year itself. Don't wait till third year, fourth year after coming out of the college. It will be too late for you, at least in this era. Usually, I always suggest, I'm not sure whether you guys are aware of not or not. I'm the board member of JNTU, Kakinada, and I'm the part of the syllabus curriculum designing team. Okay, we always think about this. The people who are in the first year, they should complete the programming part in the first year. But people are waiting till fourth year and to learn and build something, some application. Some people are not even doing an application building in 4 years. So the reason why I'm asking this is once you come outside, if you join something like GenAI University, we are taking only 3 months of time to make anybody become useful. So the students who joined in our Gen University or Python Guru was the earlier name. Now it is Gen University. We are giving training like not more than 3 months. People are becoming programmers within 3 months. Now with the help of GenAI tools, they are actually doing miracles. They are able to build applications just in few days, not even weeks. Okay. So for vibe coding, you need to understand programming techniques, probably Java or Python, any one of the high level languages, and definitely one database, MySQL or Postgres or Oracle, and one NoSQL database, something like MongoDB, and definitely one framework, REST framework, something like Fast API at Django or Spring Boot. Fast API for Python, for Java it is Spring Boot. Need to understand the REST API principles and need to understand containerization, something like Docker. At least forget about Docker and cloud. At least you guys should be able to understand what is GitHub. Okay, how to work in collaboration with multiple people. So this is the reason you guys are having a fourth year project. But still, unfortunately, most of the people are buying projects from Ameerpet. Okay. The reason why they have designed the course to work in the college, this is the reason. Now the AI is basically taking jobs. That's what everybody is feeling, right? So the first year, second year people at least focus on these technologies in the first, second year itself. You should be able to build an application by the second year. Okay. So because Going forward, you're going to build AI applications only. So these are the things that are required. First of all, at least you should be good at programming and one framework. Okay, so that is required. The second one is understanding how LLMs work. Okay, LLMs and code generation. Okay, so now we are jumping into code generation. I'm not sure how many of you have done this earlier. It is very interesting. Mhm. Stream. Yeah. So what I do is I want to create, first of all, I want to build a small application. And let's go to, let me create a folder for you. MD, make directory. Um, its name is pay later. Okay. So pay later is the folder I'm in right now. So I want to use an IDE called Cursor. Cursor is a replica of VS Code. If you are familiar with VS Code, only thing is on VS Code, you see all these symbols on the left side, here on the top. That is the only difference. Everything is same. Okay. Let's make it bigger. This is how it's look like. I am in a project folder called Pay Later. Nothing is there. What exactly I want to do here? I want to do vibe coding. What is vibe coding? Vibe coding is with the help of large language models, okay, generating code by following prompt engineering. Okay. So by with the help of LLMs, building applications and generating code by using prompt engineering. And here, so this is how it looks like. This is almost like your VS Code, except this particular menu is on the left side for the GitHub. I mean, Copilot, VS Code. In VS Code, the Copilot is also on the right side. So this is how it looks like. But what exactly is this? Okay. First of all, I want to build something like this. So these are the requirements for me. Simple pay later service. What is pay later? Something like a lazy pay. First, you purchase an item going to some cart and you purchase some item. You don't need to pay anything because you are having some kind of credits like 2000 rupees. Okay, for me, I use simple application. Simple. Its name is Simple. SIMPL, not PLE, and also lazy pay. So whenever I want to buy immediately, usually it will take some time to go to phone pay, Google Pay, right? So it will take some time to go to phone pay and Google Pay. But if you use these lazy pay applications, you can directly pay first of all using the lazy pay application. Later you can pay. Probably they'll give you 15 days. Usually they give you 2000 rupees credit. So I'm trying to build such application. Okay, I have clear requirements here. I want to share this document also with you. You guys start working with this application. It's very small one. In fact, this has given to me almost 10 years back as an interview task. They gave me like 1 day time to finish this in Go language at the time. I'm just taking the same example even for the students today. A lot of my students have already done this project. So I'm sharing this. Okay, and you can download. See, I in the chart there are two documents. Don't miss it. Okay, just download this. So this is the document. They have given clear instructions. So for every transaction paid through us, so as a pay later service, and I mean we are the pay later service. We are like lazy pay. The buy goods from a merchant now and then allow them to pay for those goods at a later date. I don't want to read all this. Okay, so they have given the idea of what is pay later. Okay, and then the use cases allow merchants to be onboarded with a fee, allow merchants to charge their fee, and these are the use cases. Allow means you have to write API, you have to provide some functions which allow these operations. Okay, the goal is this one, and build an API, and the API post get requests, they should look like this. They have given clear requirements actually. Probably you can copy this, okay, paste this here. Probably can ask. So in this window, you have two modes. One is ask mode, second one is agent mode. Ask mode means you can only ask questions, it will answer the questions. Okay. But in agent mode, it will generate the code directly into your editor. You don't need to copy paste. Someone asked me that question, how to make you the chat GPT to do the projects. Just take, I mean, this is Cursor IDE, which is also, it has free credits. Okay, it has a free credits. You can try this. So I have just copy pasted all the requirements. Okay. Probably, I mean, the format is not correct, but still it can understand. What I can see, this is the thing I always have to do. I have to expect. So these are the requirements I copy pasted, right? Huge requirements. First of all, you have to go through. Someone is asking me to share the document. I already have shared that in the chart. It has very detailed document, but still I want to give some more instructions. First of all, when you are asking any task to do, you should actually read and study that particular document by own. Okay, you should have some understanding of the document. You are a Python architect and experienced backend developer. Okay, so next, what the output I'm expecting is, you don't need to write output. You can also write expectation also. Okay, it understands. Design a architectural document, ARCH arc.md. MD means markdown. Okay, MD file. That is the first thing that you have to do. Next, do one more thing for me, which is provide scaffolding process set of commands. Tools that you must use. I'm clearly specifying that use Python 3.11 only. Okay. And Pydantic version 2 only. Okay. And probably SQL Alchemy 2 only. What else we have? For REST API, definitely Fast API. We don't have to mention any version here. So clearly I have clarity on what versions I have to use and what I'm expecting. This is the first level. I don't want to put in agent mode. I'm just putting this in ask mode. Just enter. See what it does. See, it is saying that I'm using MongoDB. It's thinking basically. The reason it is asking is because it know my personality. For my previous projects, I have used MongoDB. Let's see what is the decision that it is taking. It is clearly writing the entire architecture diagram and all that. You have to study this, okay? As it is doing everything for you, don't trust it. Okay, you have to have the control on this. It is just generating. Is it generating architectural document diagrams? Scaffolding means project setup. Okay, what packages are required, what versions, how to run these commands. See, to experience all these, see, vibe coding is really useful for the people who already have the idea of how to build an application. Usually, if I take 10 days of time, okay, 10 days of time, I can basically can do it in 2 days, 1/5 of time. So one more thing, you guys get connected to me online. I'm available in LinkedIn only. I mean, I have Facebook profile, but I don't use much. So this is my profile. Okay, so just remember that. I think mostly this is I'm going to share. So getting connected with me. So if you have any questions, you can ask there also. Okay, and we have a group. I think we have a WhatsApp group. If you have anything related to courses and all that that you want to learn later, you can talk to that WhatsApp. Okay, and this is my LinkedIn profile. They will share. Okay, so Monica, if you want to share any more links or WhatsApp, probably can share here. So we have. So this is the website. I mean, a lot of people are aware of this, and now this is going to become GenAI University. So earlier we used to run all the courses through Python Guru. Now it is GenAI University. And one thing about this website is you have free Python material here. If you want to learn, you can search, you can do practice here itself. When this is an online editor, you can run the code and all that. Free material, this is for everyone. And we have a GenAI University here. So this is getting updated, the website is. So you can contact directly if you have any friends also, you can refer to these courses. Fine. So it has done something. Let's see. Nothing has been created, but it has done a lot of work. Okay, what is this? Design components here. Okay, so technology Python 3. Somehow it has chosen MongoDB. Okay, so I said use Pydantic version 2. It is using it, but somehow why it is using MongoDB? Because earlier we have used it. Okay, so clearly writing what needs to be there, everything. I just have to apply. Just if I apply, it will create all this. Okay. See, it has taken some decisions on how the user looks like, how the merchant looks like. A user makes payment to merchant, not my merchant direct. Yeah, user makes payment to merchant, but payment is not done by the user. The pay later service will be doing the payment. It has clearly mentioned the models. Okay. So how it is working? You are in the ask mode here, and there are models, commercial models here, GPT-5. If you look at this brain symbol, that means these are reasoning models. Okay, they reason, they plan well. Okay, so somehow I'm satisfied. Okay, cool. It has mostly it has written the code, but nothing has been created here. Okay. So let's go to ask means it only give you the solution. Okay, it doesn't do anything. But when you go to agent mode, implement the previous result. Now it start creating everything in here. Look at this. So this is what chain of thought. Create architectural document, set up project directory structure, implement domain layer. This is I did not tell anything. By default, these reasoning models these days, they are actually going with chain of thought reasoning. Okay. As I said, this is a coding agent, right? Cursor is a coding and this is in the agent mode. So if you tell the work, it will do it for you. It takes sometimes minutes. Okay. It is creating all the directories. It is using my terminal. It is using my terminal. See, it has created so many files. See, if you have power, you also have responsibility. Okay. So you have power here. You should understand once it generated the code, you should basically go through each and every line of code what it has generated. Okay. Okay, it has generated the code. Once it generates, let's talk about, is it really authentic code, genuine code, testable code, secure code? We have all these questions, right? I tell you a secret. See, whatever you tell, it will just generate the backend code. Then later create a UI project and also give the instructions. Please provide beautiful React UI. It will also do React UI. Okay. And you can integrate both of them. You can deploy this application, everything it can do. Okay. So this is the basic version I'm showing. Even without opening your laptop, you can actually do coding. So we know GitHub, right? In GitHub, now today we have Copilot. There is an agentic mode. You just have to write the description of what you want to achieve. So I already have an application. Add this functionality. Add as of now I don't have Phone Pay mode to my UI application. Add this functionality end to end. Okay, if you just add the description, it will take the description, it will go through the entire code, and wherever it is required, it simply implements that. Okay, once it implements everything, it will. You should also tell the agent that evaluate, reevaluate, review the code, check once again, and create test cases, run the test cases. Once all the test cases are running, then only raise a PR. PR means pull request. So PR is something like once it is done with everything in GitHub technology, when everything is done, the last step is PR, pull request. That means this is the main branch and you take another functionality and you merge it. So that is called as pull request. It raises automatically the GitHub Copilot will raise PR for you. You just have to go through all the code and just have to approve. That will be deployed automatically. This is where we are right now. So most of my other students and other colleagues, they're actually working in this model. Obviously, they are very good at coding. So you guys, first of all, finish the courses which are like Python backend or Java backend, one backend framework, one database, one or two databases, one UI framework. Try to build applications. I've shared this document. If you are really enthusiastic, really committed, you guys have to do that. Even I'm just talking about first or second year people. Final year and third year people, you guys definitely have to be already doing AI related stuff by this time. Okay. So I'm talking to a couple of vice chairmen. One is JNTU University, and the other one is is one more university. It's autonomous. The idea is basically to adopt all these as soon as possible because the recently we have conducted a couple of demo sessions for a company. So they really like the idea. So they have given tasks to the students to implement by using AI tools. Our students are, we sent 5 people. Out of 5, everybody got selected. All of them have used these tools, Cursor, and they use ChatGPT tools, and they build AI applications. So you are using AI AI tools here to fasten your work, and you are building AI applications. Okay. So building AI applications, probably we are going to take the next session. Okay. So we'll be doing these sessions continuously. So whenever we have time, probably based on the request from your universities, probably we'll be conducting one more free session on the agentic AI. Okay. So it is taking time. So time is very less for us. At least let's look at the architectural diagram, what it has designed. So I did not do anything. Okay. So it has basically has done uh, tool selection, everything. Okay, MongoDB is also fine for me to build this application. It is basically decided with technology stack to build this application. But the thing is, if you generate code directly like this, you must be having idea of how to build an application. Okay. Someone asked me this question, how to make use of ChatGPT. If you use ChatGPT and copy paste the code, it will take like months of time. You have to use these vibe coding tools. There are so many other practices. For example, once I build this stack, code is running fine. Still, I have some question in my mind. Okay, I'll do this coding. What about someone joined in my team? They also must follow the same standard. They also might be using cursor, right? Or vibe coding tools. What if they destroy or they disturb the idea of my coding standards? I'm doing everything with standards. But how do you make sure that it is following PEP8 standards, it is following security standards and all that? That is where the secret sauce is. Its name is cursor rules. Okay. So this is my project folder, right? In this project folder, what I do is secretly I add a folder. Okay. I create a folder called dot cursor. Okay. And one more folder called rules. I have created dot cursor folder. Inside I have created slash rules folder. Okay. What I do is I create a file here called Python rules. Why it is still... Alright. This is the secret sauce. A lot of people don't know about this. They simply do the coding. Python rules dot mdc markdown. It is advanced markdown format. I just keep this secret file here. Do you know what I do? I have a set of rules for every project. I always follow these rules. I also ask this cursor and Claude. Claude is the model I'm using here. The agent is basically using Claude model 478 here. This is the LLM and this is the agent. This agent is taking my code along with these rules. I'll show you what are those rules. Where are my rules? Where is the rules file? This is the rules file. Okay. I have a long set of rules here. This is so important. This is your future. It is still doing coding. Okay, let it be. Let's close this. Okay. So this is, I think this can be removed. These rules must be actually written in the form of lightweight, okay, MD markdown instructions. Okay. Okay. So what it is doing? What exactly is this? It is a rule file and there are multiple options here. I can actually choose always apply. Let's see what it means. So always apply dot true. From next time onwards, anybody who is pulling this source code, for example, I'm a senior developer, right? I have developed this application. This is running fine for me. Someone joined my team, or you have shared this code with your friend, or next time you only coding some other feature. You have already made the all the standards at one level. Next time you don't want to spoil that environment. You don't want to, you just want to follow with the same set of rules and guidelines. See, writing code is very easy, but following all the rules and restrictions, coding practices, best practices, okay, that for that you need to be an expert, right? If you have 10 years of experience, you follow all these rules, linting styles, line length, naming conventions, snake case, variable cases, okay, and doc strings, and routing endpoint, how to follow the routing standards, and following asynchronous models, HTTP codes, wherever it is applicable. See, it's not that easy. You must be definitely very knowledgeable to do all this. But the good thing about these tools is, if I set these rules in this project, whoever does the coding, whoever asks the agent to do the coding, it will actually make the standard at the same level. So you will become equal to a 10 years experienced guy if you use these techniques. These are very high level and basic. Okay. So this is what we are doing at office every day. Okay. So I hope all these sessions, yesterday and today's sessions, these coding sessions, will give you an understanding of what is the breadth. Okay. So this is the first iteration of uh, workshops we are doing, and based on the request from the universities, probably we'll be conducting this next month first week, or probably this month last week. Okay, so there's a lot to learn actually. Okay, we give you very high level guidelines, and anybody who is interested, you guys can actually join online. But this is not for the pursuing candidates, people who came out of the college. Okay. We are trying to implement the same in almost every college. So we are asking them to um, getting getting the pace and increasing the pace of the students. Okay. So now, any questions? I'm just concluding this. I was not able to show you how it is running. It somehow has created this, and probably this is the architectural thing, architectural README, and this is the pay letter, the entire pay letter application documentation. Okay, so anyway, I shared the document. I thought of showing you rag and drag applications, how they are working, but time is less, so probably that will postpone that to the next session whenever it is possible. Okay, so ask me questions. So we'll conclude for today. So there is a WhatsApp number. Okay, you guys can connect there, or else you can connect to me in the LinkedIn and you can ask me. If I have time, I'll answer your questions. And but there is a WhatsApp number here. I think Monica can share the number. They will talk to you.
Sure, sir. I will
Yeah.
share.
Okay. So feel free to ask any questions. I'll give you 2 minutes and we'll conclude. So do you have any concluding remarks? Is Anugar online?
Sir, unfortunately, Dr. Hanu sir in a meeting.
Okay, no issues, no issues. I mean, someone, okay, let me answer the questions. Someone is asking that I have EC background, I want to learn AI. See, you have online courses provided by us or any other training firm can get the online courses and anybody can learn AI. Okay, so first, for me, I've been training since 2002, more than 30,000 students I have trained so far. Particularly, I did a lot of FDPs in JNTU campus and Usmania in Hyderabad JNTU and some universities, some colleges I visit usually. What I observed was like there is no difference between CSE and other groups. You guys can take courses online, and you have to plan on doing all these courses when you're in college only. Once you come out, things will be very hurry, right? So yeah, so if you plan doing if you're really planning now, that would be better for first year, second year guys. But first of all, you guys have to learn how to code, definitely. Okay, so probably after 4 5 years, things will be changing differently, but still there will be some part of the coding is definitely remain. Don't think that AI will do the coding automatically. You guys must be having architectural thinking. That's what we are trying to help everyone. So yeah, if you just start taking some courses online, you understand. And we are doing these free workshops, probably monthly ones. Suggest me there are any internships to get a job by using Airtels. So there are numbers here, right? I mean, there are two numbers given. So take down those numbers. Okay, so those are the GenAI University WhatsApp contacts. So you can talk to them. They'll answer more number of questions. Anything technical, you can connect to me on LinkedIn and you can talk to me. Okay. So thank you very much. Thanks for your presence.
Yeah.
So you want to conclude anything,
Yes,
Monica?
sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. As we conclude this 2 days Gen AI engineering power session, I want to thank you all for your incredible enthusiasm and active participation throughout the workshop. We have been privileged to learn from two exceptional industries experts, Dr. Hanu Edluri, who gave us strategic insight into real-world AI implementations, and Mr. Naren Alam, who shared deep technical expertise on architecting and applying AI technologies. From prompt engineering and LLMS to advanced drag plus practical sessions on vibe coding, this has been a comprehensive hands-on experience. We hope you're living not just with enhancing knowledge, but with actionable skills to advance your AI engineering careers. On behalf of GenAI University's training and placement team, heartfelt thanks to Dr. Egluri and Mr. Alam for their invaluable mentorship, and to all participants for making this workshop truly engaging. Keep building, keep innovating, and remember, don't just study AI. Create real-world applications with it. And moreover, all session materials, artifacts, and documents from our workshop are now available on GenAI University WhatsApp channel. Link has shared in a webinar chat. Please subscribe. Stay connected for continuous knowledge updates, upcoming training sessions, interview and placement guidance, job interviews. Don't miss out any ongoing AI learning journey. Thank you all. Thank you all for your participate.